Greetings, trackers. Bear Tracker Nature Films here, and this is something really cool. This is a first. This is sign of a beaver, and beavers have been extirpated on this river for a long time. So this is the first time in 26 years of being on this particular river right here in this location that I've ever found beaver sign. So there's a really nice beaver track right there. There's some scrape marks here. There's both a front and a hind track right there. And then there's this with the little drag mark going out into the water, or excuse me, coming back in from the water. And I'm going to search around and see if I can find more sign. But beaver is a very rare animal on this river, and this is really cool. So I'm going to try to get a little closer. I'm on a really precarious spot right here. This is a debris, just plant debris, leaves and sticks that's covered with a shallow layer of mud. So, and it's right on the river's edge. I don't want to go in. But anyway, this is pretty cool. I hope I get to see the beaver, but at least I'm going to show you its tracks. So first of all, this right here, what is this? This is a scent mound, and beavers are notorious for doing this. They'll come out on the shore, they'll scrape together the mud, and they will leave scent on it. Castoreum is the scent. And right here you can see a really beautiful tail drag. There's even a little bit of texture in it right there. I'm going to probably have to get on hands and knees to try to show you that, but right here are the beaver tracks. Got this beautiful hind track right here showing the outer three toes, and then you have this nice front track right there. That's a left front and a left hind. And here's where the beaver came out of the water and went this way. So this is super exciting. I have never found beaver sign on this part of the river. 26 years here, I've never seen beavers here. So it's really cool to see them. I know they've been making their way up here, and I kind of want to obscure the location here and not say where it is, because I don't want anything to happen to them. I want them to recolonize the river, because they do belong here. And beavers have plenty of food here. There's all kinds of willow plants here that they can eat, and there's trees, all kinds of things that beavers would love to get into. So I'm going to explore further, see if I can find more sign of this beaver. But it did come out here. It left a castoreum mound right here, and I'm going to give that a sniff, see what it smells like, and get some better documentation on those tracks. And then right here where it came out of the water. So here are the beaver's tracks. You have this hind foot, and these things can be over 6 inches. So look at the size of this thing. It goes all the way to here. Here's the base of the heel. Here are the toes. Now the inner two toes don't normally show up on beaver tracks. It's kind of a thing with them. A lot of times their tail will drag over them, or they just won't show. But the outer three toes usually show. They're really bulky, thick toes. And then the front track is sort of a typical rodent track with 4 toes and a couple of pads down here, and it's got 4 toes. I don't see the inner toe very well there. But that's the left front track of a beaver. And this is the left hind. So remember, the first toe 1 and 2 don't usually show. 3, 4, and 5 do show pretty well. Now I gave this mound a sniff, and that was pretty pungent. That castoreum is very pungent smelling. So this is definitely a scent marking thing. The beaver's territorially marking here and trying to move in and say, hey, I'm going to live here. So that's cool. Here's another front track from when it went back into the water from here. You can see the 4 toes. It's heading in this direction. This is where it came out of the water. So it was coming up here, and it was wet. So the tracks are not as good, but you can see some detail in this. That's a hind foot there, and the tail drags over their tracks often. So that's what this mark is. That's from the tail drag from the beaver. And then here's the tracks that got dragged over, the right front and hind. The left were over there. Here's the right, and then it went up here. I don't know where it went, but I'm going to go try to find out. This is a little more firm sand up here because it's more dry, so it's going to take some investigation. But right here on the edge, sign of a beaver. It may not look like much, but this is historic for me. 26 years I've never seen beaver sign here. So this is a first, and I'm excited. So here's the otter that I was following along the river when I found that beaver scent mound. And otters will make similar signs, so I initially confused it for otter. But actually, it turned out to be beaver because the tracks were different. And I'm still so stoked. But here's our otter. You can see that it was cruising along right here, and hopefully headed to that mud and left some good tracks. Knock on wood. Hey trackers. I am returning to the site where I found a beaver scent mound and tracks yesterday. And you know what's really cool? the beaver's been back. In the last 24 hours, he's come back and created a second scent mound. Now, if you recall the photos and video from yesterday, you'll notice that this was just moved slightly. It had not been scraped into a pile, nor had it been scented upon, and now it has. So the beaver's been back and remarked at the same place where the first scent mound was. So, looks like this beaver is indeed trying to repopulate the river that they haven't been on in a long time. So, this scent mound, I need to get my walking stick to stay put. Okay, that scent mound was here yesterday. This track was here yesterday. That was the clearest hind track. Now you can see a scrape here, and you can see the soil that was moved yesterday has now been made into a scent mound. And right over here and here, it looks like the beaver scented on it. And there are new beaver tracks right here. That's a nice new one. Oh yeah, nice front, nice hind. And then it turned around and went back in the water, and there's one right there. So these are right on the edge. It's going to be difficult for me to get in there. So I'm going to try to find a position where I can actually get in there and show you these a little clearer. Okay, I've gotten a little closer, and what we're looking at here is a front track and a hind track. I believe this is a left front. It's a little bit messed up, but you can see the 4 toes facing towards the river, which is that away. And then this one is the hind. You can see the outer 3 toes very clearly right there. You can see some hints of webbing, and you can see the longer heel going all the way back to there. So this beaver left fresh tracks, and over here it left fresh scratch marks where it was digging this one that we saw yesterday, and it scented on it over there. I sniffed it to see. There are scratch marks all over. This is scent marking, and it's 24 hours since I discovered the first one, and the beaver's been back, so it's really exciting to see this activity here. That means the beaver's trying to move in and claim this as its territory, which is fantastic. I love it. So there you have it. 2 scent mounds in the same location, and new tracks today. The old tracks from yesterday are still there. So we have a beaver, and I've left my tracks here, and I tried, I don't think I'm leaving too much scent because I have shoes on. I did touch the scent mound to pick up a little bit and give it a sniff to see if it had been marked, but that's all I did. So hopefully my scent won't drive it away. But there's definitely beaver sign here, and like I said yesterday, I've been at this location 26 years, and this is the first time I've ever found beaver sign this far south on the South Fork Eel River.